We've also been working a lot with smaller groups, mainly because of small bookings. So we've run workshops for 5 people, 6 people. We had a sort of improvised facilitator training exploration in Hungary recently with exactly 8 people. And we found that, again, we have a very powerful dynamic towards community. It's more personal, and there's more personal struggling with each other and with our difficulties with each other, such as wouldn't happen in a large circle, especially of mostly strangers.
That was surprisingly my strongest experience of community. It was, you know, although I've been to lots of community building events, I haven't experienced long periods of sustained community, and it happened there in Hungary with this small group of people.
We were facilitating differently. In a small group like that, we felt we couldn't afford to have 2 people non-participant, so we were developing a different style, trusting that the 2 experienced facilitator trainers could be themselves and could be facilitated not in every single second, but any given utterance would be either participative or facilitative, and we trusted it wouldn't be confusing. It sounds confusing to me when I say it now, but in practice it worked.
I have to say it's brilliant, but not always comfortable at all, but I feel like I've got that through the honesty and clarity and commitment, intelligence in the heart of everybody here. So, yeah, I'm extremely grateful, because I don't know any other way I could have got that. And you helped.
Deep exploration of it from every angle, and experientially we can talk about it, try it, reflect on it. And I know that when I started to get very keen on community building, my husband didn't really understand it, and I asked him to come on one of those. It was the one when we met, wasn't it? One of the 6-day ones, and he really loved it, and then started to talk about things in his life differently and relationships differently. So it's something for me about that sharing the exploration and inquiry and findings together. I love the democracy of the Facilitating Ourselves event. But when you mentioned small groups, I mean, I think I understand from you that also might be something a bit different that we're doing in the UK. We seem to be doing quite a bit of small group work.
Also, there's 2 things there. The fact that there are small groups in Facilitating Ourselves events is quite significant, because processes that happen more readily in a big circle can stir things up that aren't able to happen there, but they can happen in small groups. So there's a mutual support from the different frames.
I also really liked the fact that each person gets a turn at facilitating, because that was my first experience of facilitating, and it was just such an amazingly different experience to participating, and I suppose that's how eventually I decided that I'd like to train.
The worry was it wouldn't be strong enough holding, and the group wouldn't really move towards community. What was good about it, as far as I was concerned, was that it demystified facilitation, and it made everybody realise that there is a challenge in how to participate. I mean, I took to facilitating quite easily, but I realised I was hiding behind it, and that I wasn't very good at participating either in circles or in life. So the Facilitating Ourselves setting enabled me to take different and more risks and learn to be myself more in a way that a 2-day circle wouldn't. And the other thing is that a very powerful dynamic towards community happens even without consistent, skilled facilitation. Something about that structure, the fact that we're there for 6 days, that we're all holding the thing together, creates a safe container and there is a very powerful dynamic towards community.
So it's something for me about that sharing the exploration and inquiry and findings together. I love the democracy of the Facilitating Ourselves event.
There's a lot of open space sessions, so people bring all kinds of stuff that they want to share, other skills, practices, ways of hanging out, relaxing, all sorts of stuff. And there's small groups that meet regularly. So it's really a world of its own for 6 days. And what I love about it is that we're building community in all the spaces all the time. So it definitely escapes from the circle into something much more like real life. And so for me it gives the hope that we will learn how to do it in our actual lives, which is the reason that I'm involved at all, really.
Suddenly, because I was there with, and I was on an equal level with all participants who all were taking it in turns to facilitate, it became a possibility for me to try that out. No pressure, but a possibility for me to try that out. And it worked, and here I am 6 years later doing facilitator training.